Your party is okay with men competing in women's sports? Remember what I said about how brain dead some of these guys are? Let's move on to another issue that Republicans are seemingly refusing to address.
From the Jeffrey Epstein files, a House committee this time released thousands of pages of Justice Department documents related to the disgraced financier. This happened last night. Also included missing cell block video that had raised conspiracy rumors over Epstein's reported suicide. Committee members also met with some of Epstein's alleged sex abuse victims. And Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill following all this for us. Nicole, good morning. What did we learn, if anything, from this release?
Hey, good morning to you, Tony. A CBS News review shows...
I'm going to tell you what we learned from this release. The Republicans are not invested in allowing people to actually learn whatever the exists out there in the clients list. They just do not want people to... They do not want people to know any new information about this, and they simply want people to shut the up. And in an effort to get people to shut the up, they're just going to make it seem like they're, putting out new information with the hopes that it will quiet down some of the dumbest morons in the Trump base that also are invested in this Epstein thing.
Much of the information that was released was already public, but we could learn more when we hear directly from some of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers at a press conference here on Capitol Hill. The House Oversight Committee posted more than 33,000 pages, which it says is just a fraction of the total Epstein files. They contain previously unseen surveillance video outside Epstein's jail cell on the night he died. That includes a missing minute, which the Attorney General said in July didn't exist due to a security reset. There are also Epstein's flight logs, which show he traveled with young women. Some of the women who claim they were groomed and abused by the convicted sex offender met for 2.5 hours with House Speaker Mike Johnson and the oversight panel. The Speaker is under pressure to hold a vote to compel the Justice Department to publicly release the Epstein files in full. Republican Tom Massey and Democrat Khanna have filed a petition to force a vote on the floor. Massey said they've already garnered half of the signatures required to advance it. Both lawmakers will appear with the survivors at today's news conference. Meantime, the Speaker is pushing for a separate vote this week to allow the Oversight Committee to continue its work. Tony.
All right, Nicole, thank you very much.
This is the big revelation, I would say, which is that the victims came out and were not happy with the lack of disclosure. So now an Epstein survivor is hinting at a potential list of names being compiled by the accusers themselves. Interesting stuff.
Chair into Congress. Hi there. My name is Lisa Phillips, and I'm the host of a award-nominated podcast called From Now On, a platform supporting survivors. I want to thank all of my survivor sisters who came before me today. I'll be very short. In the year 2000, I was taken to Jeffrey Epstein's island while on a photo shoot on a nearby island. Who I saw and what I experienced there was a glimpse into a very dark and disturbing world. For years after, I tried to avoid Jeffrey, but he had introduced me to Katie Ford, the owner of the Ford Modeling Agency. Epstein's reach went to the very top of fashion, arts, and entertainment. This did not just happen to underage girls in Florida. In New York City, hundreds of young, ambitious women were abused by him. Epstein was not just a serial predator, he was an international human trafficker. And many around him knew, many participated, and many profited. And yet, he was protected. So I stand here today for every woman who has been silenced, exploited, and dismissed. We are not asking for pity. We are here demanding accountability, and I'm demanding justice. Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors?
I can't help but sometimes feel as though like this is just going to move the needle in the opposite direction, where it will simply make people not even care about, like, It's the only established norm that we have, which is child predation is unconscionable and it's the ultimate bad. It kind of feels in the same vein as like genocide, right? Like genocide is a bridge too far. It's supposed to be a bridge too far for everyone. It is an established norm that you are anti-genocide. Everyone is supposed to be against that, right? And I feel like the less accountability Israel sees, the more violent it gets, and the more people feel discouraged and don't have realize that their voices don't matter, or at least like come to that conclusion, the more people just start kicking in their defense mechanism and going, well, maybe it's not so bad that genocide is happening. And I fear that this is what's going on with like sequence, serialized, systematized. It's the thing that everyone is supposed to be against, okay? Like, sure, people don't have that kind of opinion under patriarchal constructs about like, sexual assault against women. That's certainly the case. Like there's culture, all this stuff, right? But like, it's supposed to be the thing that everyone is against. No matter how big of a villain someone might be in your life, if you ask them like what they think about, they'll be like, yeah, those guys. As a matter of fact, it's so bad that themselves will often wear those like, oh, time to hang your local t-shirts, you know? But the more this kind of stuff is discussed and the less there's action the less there's any sort of action that people are, your party supports it. My party? First of all, the Democrats are not my party. And secondly, it's wild to say that right now. Like right now is the worst possible time to say that. This is what I mean when I say these guys just hallucinate, dude. They hallucinate alternative reality. Donald Trump every day goes on television and says, the Jeffrey Epstein stuff is a hoax. It's just a hoax. Sure, we were best friends. It's fine. I didn't write a letter to him for his 50th birthday, even though I did, and it's fine. And the Democrats are the ones who are literally like, for political purposes, for partisan purposes, if you want to say it, that they don't have a genuine interest in like revealing this information, and they're doing it simply because it hurts Donald Trump. Fine. But like, regardless of their reasoning, regardless of their ambitions, or whatever the motivating factor is here, it's clear that the Democrats, unlike the Republicans broadly, are unironically trying to. Your party's okay with men competing in women's sports? Remember what I said about how brain dead some of these guys are? That's it. That's the 30% right there. If you are a person who has voted for Donald Trump at any given point and now experience buyer's remorse, understand that if you lean into the Trump side, that's what you sound like. A guy who looks at Donald Trump saying, Jeffrey Epstein was my friend, it's fine, it's not a big deal, it's a hoax, okay, every day, is so easily tricked that he can turn around and claim, well, the Democrats support men participating in women's sports. That's like, even if you have a disagreement with that, which I don't give a shit about, right? How the is that in any way, shape, or form relevant to the active child molestation that took place with Jeffrey Epstein when the Republicans are refusing to release the files? You just said you are the dumbest person. You are so stupid. You're literally like, I'm stupid. You're wearing a dunce cap, dude. You're like, I'm the easily tricked adult. If you're wondering, when Donald Trump says everybody transgender, who that appeals to, it's this idiot, okay? When Donald Trump says everybody transgender, this guy goes, hell yeah, brother. That's right. It's certainly no longer weird to me that he's actively, he ran on releasing the Epstein files and refuses to release them. That's not strange. And basically every media hit he has done so far makes me feel like he's heavily involved in Epstein. But I look away. I have terrible news. This is the most devastating piece of information I've ever delivered. I ordered chicken and they did not send me garlic sauce. What the f am I supposed to do? Raw dog it? That's crazy. What am I, an animal? And I've run out of extra garlic sauce as well. This is terrifying. This is my 9/11.
And also, I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details.
Let's just give a round of applause for all the courage and strength that the survivors have shown. We now will take a few questions. You can always get Congressman Massey, me, or Congresswoman Greene in the hallways and other places. If you have questions for us, that's fine. But I wanted to see first if you have questions for the lawyers and the survivors, and Brad will facilitate any of the questions to the survivors. Yes.
Yeah. This question would be for the survivors, Mr. Edwards. The president has said that this Epstein issue is a hoax, is the words that he used. Can we get your reactions to what you think when you hear him say that?
I'll answer that. Mr. President Donald J. Trump, I am a registered Republican, not that that matters because this is not political. However, I cordially invite you to the Capitol to meet me in person so you can understand this is not a hoax. We are real human beings. This is real trauma.
What does it feel like emotionally to hear that?
Devastating.
It's being gutted from the inside out. Not that I would know what that feels like, but I imagine it's the anxiety buildup with the depression and the survival mode, and then your nervous system goes limp and ironically is shot. And it feels like you just want to explode inside because nobody, again, is understanding that this is a real situation. These women are real. We're here in person. To say that it's a hoax is just not... Please humanize us. I would like Donald J. Trump and every person in America and around the world to humanize us, to see us for who we are and to hear us for what we have to say. There is no hoax. The abuse was real. Now, what goes on behind closed doors, I can't speak for that. What happens around the world politically, I cannot speak for that. But I am here with all of these women.
Wait, they did a jet flyover? They actually did a flyover over this? If you're wondering why there's a jet flying over Capitol Hill during the Survivor presser, yes, that was a flyover, and yes, that is unusual. Wait, what? I don't know. Maybe it's for the Polish president or something. I don't know.
Our attorneys.
Maybe it's not for these people.
And I would be more than happy to meet with him, and I will meet him halfway.
Survivor who just spoke. The last survivor who just spoke, she said that Epstein would brag about her relationship with Donald Trump. Could she please elaborate about that?
Shante. Get to the microphones.
Get close.
Yeah, I did say that. My first trip to the Palm Beach residence, I drove there from the airport with Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey and Ghislaine were always very boastful about their friends, their famous or powerful friends, and his biggest brag forever was that he was very good friends with Donald Trump. He had an 8x10 framed picture of him on his desk with the two of them. Like, they were very close.
Go ahead. We're here for you. We love you.
After meeting Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, it felt like someone shut off the lights to my soul.
We were groomed, we were manipulated, and we were taken advantage of.
We want to be heard.
In this story, they say the survivors are often forgotten.
We know the names.
Not here.
Many of us were abused by them.
No one's invested in a release of the Epstein files, quite like the woman who knew him.
It's Teresa J. Helm,
who suffered at the hands of the sex trafficker and accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell.
It was a whole operation. Everyone knew what they were doing. Everyone had their role to play. They passed along women and children like human batons from one person to the next up the chain till they're assaulted. Some are on repeat cycles of that.
Why is it important that your voice is heard today?
Because they're trying to bury us. They've been trying to bury us for 20 years, and you just waited for Virginia Giuffre to pass away to move Ghislaine Maxwell to a summer camp.
What do you say to Donald Trump today?
Release the Epstein files. It's simple.
The voice of the survivors here can only reinforce the effort over there on Capitol Hill to trigger the release of the Epstein files. Politicians across the aisle are pushing legislation to lean on the Department of Justice for a full publication of every name and every detail. Marjorie, is your stance on this a problem for Donald Trump? Trump's problem is his MAGA base wants the files released. Loyalists like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who cry cover up.
The truth needs to come out, and the government holds the truth.
Donald Trump was welcoming the Polish president to the White House down the road. The spirit of Epstein was present here too. Trump was asked about an affair that features a man he once counted as a friend.
We're having the most successful 8 months of any president ever. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax.
For Epstein survivors, the release of the files is the end game. How the game ends for Donald Trump would be the question to follow. James Matthews, Sky News in Washington.
Someone said Marjorie Taylor Greene may or may not have leaked a certain country, may or may not have been involved with Jeffrey Epstein. It's so funny that these, Representative Anna Paulina said all the Epstein files can be found here, and then the readers added context. Most of the documents released today were already made public months ago. These are not new documents. Crank T. Nelson replies, it's so funny that these people are fully committed to never releasing any new Epstein info, but are also completely addicted to acting like they really want to release it. They can literally go broke betting on the piggies eating the slop. I really think even they were surprised how easily they could trick their base with this one. Like, they acted as guilty as a human could possibly act, and the MAGA base didn't mind one bit. There is, I think, some tremors within the base, as I've said before, over the Epstein stuff. But I will say, for a lot of people, it's not an issue. It's clear. For a lot of people, they're like, I don't even give a if Donald Trump was like on the plane, literally on camera, sexually assaulting a minor. I still love him. He's my GOAT. Why? Just like that one chatter was presenting, because he's doing, he's fighting everything's transgender.
Those that are enduring sexual abuse and are living in a prison of shame. Anyone that is being abused, it is not your fault. You should live with no guilt or fear or shame. All of the fault, Israel and other countries. The truth needs to come out.
No, is that real?
And the government holds the truth. The cases that are sealed hold the truth. Jeffrey Epstein's estate holds the truth.
Nah, no way. No way. White House says helping me secure a vote to release all Epstein files is a hostile act. They're threatening anyone who helps bring true transparency and justice for the survivors. This is a tacit admission. The Oversight Committee data release is woefully incomplete. It's crazy to just like straight up assume a pro position like the White House is doing right now. But even crazier that like the audience is eating it up. You could not communicate your level of involvement with Jeffrey Epstein harder if you tried. It is nutty, dude. Every time they're just like, dude, we did it. We diddled kids. That's what they're saying over and over again. The meme you shared earlier is so true, Lamau. Oh yeah, this. We're pro now. Deal with it, libtard. That's where we're at now with the Republican Party. This is what I was saying. Like, this is what I was warning against. This is what I'm like worried about. Trump has a cult and he has like this profound ability to normalize certain things that previously would be considered utterly immoral, morally repugnant, completely unacceptable. And he's just using that normalization faucet in the direction of like normalizing what? That's crazy. The way they're doing it is so wild because it's like they're basically saying trans people existing is actually not the real that are doing to children. And these dumb eat it up. I guess the same goes for everything. It's like it goes back to this. DOJ lawyer waging war against Harvard sure seems to like Adolf Hitler. Like the guy who is supposed to be combating the anti-Semitism at Harvard University is a Hitler lover. It's the same shit. Update. Now 201 Democrats and 4 Republicans signed on to Thomas Massie Ro Khanna's petition to force a vote on release of the Epstein files. With full expected support from Democrats, 2 more Republicans are needed. The White House is threatening Republicans who sign on. That's why it's so funny when dumb come in here and turn around and say, oh, the real are the libtards. It's like, bro, look at your party, man.